of this app. Hopefully it doesn't. But let's jump into how we can improve with playing with both hands together. So I'm going to go to the overhead camera so we can see both my hands together. All right, so when it comes to playing both hands together at the piano, I think there's a big misunderstanding of what hand independence is, right? Hand independence is your ability to have both hands doing either the same rhythm or separate rhythms or using separate fingers at the same time. And what we have to know about hand independence, there's not one way to do it. Every song that we play will ask us to have a different type of hand independence. Different rhythms in different songs will create different things we need to work on. So most important with hand independence is actually knowing how to practice the parts that challenge us when we come across a part that has two hands doing different things. So I'm going to show you a couple different little exercises you can do just to start gaining some basic hand independence. So the first thing that I like to do is put my hands in C positions. That means your right hand will have C, D, E, F, G like that, starting on your thumb, and your left hand will have C, D, E, F, G like this, starting on your pinky. Now, one form of hand independence is playing the exact same rhythms, but using different fingers. So for example, by playing C's together, D's, E's, F's, G's, you're creating hand independence by using different fingers. So that's one way you can start working on it. And it's even better if you actually use a metronome, because if you don't have a metronome and a steady beat, you can't actually develop the muscle memory you need. So if you do the simple exercise just out of the metronome, you'll start working on different fingers at the same time. Now, you can do the same exercise, but this time focusing on the same fingers. This is the easiest way to do it. So thumbs together, pointer finger together, and so on. And now let's get into some more complicated ones. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play, for example, a C chord, and I'm going to bounce it every beat, and I'm going to have my right hand do eighth notes, which would be 2 notes for every beat. So it would sound like this. Let's try that with the metronome. 3, 4. And then do the same thing, but switch hands, so have your right hand do the chord. So these are just all different forms of hand independence, asking one hand to stick to one rhythm while another hand does another rhythm. Like I said, there's no possible way for me to cover even close to all the different possibilities. So the main idea here is I want to show you how you can start to work on these things. So if you notice, for example, when you do this one where your left hand's bouncing a chord and your right hand's playing these eighth notes, if you struggle with it to where you start hesitating like this, if that starts happening to you, and if that happens to you frequently, the biggest mistake you have is that you actually don't know how to practice hands together. It's not that you can't play hands together, it's you don't know how to work on it. So most people, they make a mistake and they continuously just try and play the whole thing over and over again. Well, the first thing you need to do is say, well, can I just play the first notes together? So let's just use that example. Can I just get that to hit together? And if you can't comfortably get that to hit together, just start there. Keep going until you can get the chord and the first right hand note to hit together. Once that feels easy, then add in the next right hand note after that. And try that again. And then see if you can add in the next note. So all you want to do is just add in the slightest little amount until you can do it and then move forward. If there's a hesitation there, don't worry, just try again until you can do it. And you can always go slow. So that's why the metronome is so important, because even if I put the metronome at a really slow speed like 50, right, as long as I'm doing it to a steady beat, I'll improve it. Let's try that again. And I'm just going to keep working that little section until my hands can get there easily. And then I just keep on adding a little bit more at a time. And that's how we develop hand independence. Like I said, I think the biggest mistake I see all my students make when they want to play a part and they struggle with both hands together is the biggest mistakes they make is, one, they try and go too fast. And it sounds so sloppy, and they keep trying it over and over again and saying, I can't do it. The first rule, anytime you're having trouble with both hands together, is go slow. Can I go slower? Can I go slower? Can I go slower? As long as it's steady, your hands will learn it. It doesn't matter how slow it is. So even if it's 1 and 2 and 3, that fixes 99% of most people's issues at the piano, is slowing down. The second issue I see most people have when they're trying to get both hands together, which is kind of related to the speed, but not really, is they try and take on more than they can handle. They bite off more than they can chew, meaning they're trying to learn this whole exercise, and it's sounding sloppy like that, disconnected. And instead of saying, well, where was the first place I had a hesitation, which was right here, and just stopping and working through that section, they continuously just try and go beginning to end, beginning to end, beginning to end, and therefore the issue never gets resolved. So the second main issue I see with most people in hand independence is that they don't break it down into smaller parts. So that's really those two things, right? Going really slow and making sure it's steady, and then just breaking it down into as small of chunks as you need, just adding one note in each time. Those are the two biggest mistakes I make people see. And as soon as they start doing those things, every time they run into a hand independence issue at the piano, as soon as they fix that, they slow down and they take on a much smaller amount, they easily start to get the part. So if you have trouble with hand independence, you just have to know it's not that you can't do it. It's that you're either going too fast or you're taking on more than you can handle. Now, I will say, obviously, that's to some extent. If you're a beginner player and you're trying to play an advanced piece, yes, your hands may just be limited at this point, and there's nothing you can do. Even if you go slow, even if you break it down into small chunks, there's nothing you can do. So it is within a certain range of what you can handle. But with those exercises I showed you, using the metronome, just simple exercises, different fingers together, simple different rhythms together, will help you tremendously. And you can just practice it just by using the notes C, D, E, F, and G. When we eliminate the other variables of needing to move our hand and jump to different notes, we can start to actually develop the hand independence. So it doesn't matter that you're playing simple maneuvers, that you're not really moving your hands. We'll get into that another time. You just need to focus on, can I just do it even if it's a simple chord and my hands aren't moving? Can I just get that steady? All right, so I hope this video helps you with starting to develop some hand independence concepts. All right, so that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed and learned some stuff. Like I said before, hand independence takes a while to learn all the different ways of putting your hands together. It's not just one simple thing. Different rhythms between different hands are going to require different types of practice. But remember, if you practice slowly and you learn to just work little bits at a time, it will make it much easier to learn. And then, like I said, you can always find all of my TikTok and social media videos in the link in my bio, and I will be adding and uploading more videos constantly, so be sure to check that out, and hope to see you again soon.